us, everybody. Welcome to Jump Street Podcast.
Welcome back. It's been such a long time.
It has been such a long time.
It's been a while.
It's so long that we changed clothes.
Yeah. It's another day.
It is another day. I like your hat, by the way.
Thanks very much. I like your hat as well.
Thank you.
You could also find our hat on the online store.
What is that online store? It's jumpstreetpodcast.com/stow.
Stow is spelled S-T-O-R-E. Stow.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. This is round 2 for us today.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you can hear us. Yes, you can hear us. Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
That's always a plus when people can hear us, since it is a podcast.
Yeah.
We have another special guest today from overseas as well, which we'll get into in a few minutes. But let's just get right into it. Let's kick it off. We have a WTF, as usual.
We do.
This one is coming to you, Andy Lederman. This is from our trip to Woodward the other week. What year is it event?
Woo! Yeah, that was ridiculous. Look how close his head was to it.
Shout out to Andy
crazy.
Lederman, though. He's always, that was, I guess, from the caption that I read, that was like as they were kicking people out of Woodward for the weekend. He's like, fuck it, let me just throw this, and he hucked it.
Dude, and his head was like 2 feet above the platform.
Yeah.
He was just like hovering his head over that.
That's how you get the nice low cess slides.
I think next time he should do like a helmet cess slide to
Helmet cess slide.
Misty to Royale cess, like that same
If
thing.
someone does a helmet cess slide, they can have all the WTFs they want.
Well, we've had one on the
A head slide?
WTF. Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Julian Cadeau, the front flip.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did.
Yeah, we
He didn't
have.
slide it. He tapped his head.
Oh, it was a tap?
I want to see a legit slide.
You wanna see, like
how
like a b-boy, old school, like b-boy. Just
like how Jacqueline wanted the toe slide on the vert ramp. We want to see the head slide challenge.
Yeah, the neck break. Wow. I don't know if I want to put that challenge out. I wouldn't feel comfortable.
I don't want to put the challenge out, but if someone wants to do it, I'm not going to hate.
If
Just
you
gonna
do
say.
it, you do it. But I'm not putting a challenge out. I don't want to be responsible for any neck problems in the future.
And we've been slacking, like we said before. We were slacking on our monthly supporter giveaways. So, like we say, every month for all of our supporters on Patreon, whether you donate $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, you automatically get entered for our monthly drawing to win one of any item you want out of our online store. And we didn't do one for September yet, so we're going to do it right now, and I'm going to do it live on the Instagram. And everybody's name is in here. This is for the September supporter giveaway. And let's see who we got this time. Who's the lucky winner? Who was
Love
it?
how you keep it honest every
Who was
time.
it? Gotta. Adrian Thorstensen. So congrats, Adrian Thorstensen. You just won one of whatever you want out of our Jump Street online store. Say congrats.
Yeah, congrats. Get yourself a nice hat, a shirt, maybe a mug.
So I have to post that on the Jump Street Instagram page so that we're not full of shit.
Yeah.
This is not a rigged contest.
No, it's not rigged.
Everybody has a fair chance.
It's not like the presidential primaries in America. I'm just kidding.
You're going to get some crazy comments about that one.
It's not a rigged show.
So congrats, Adrian Thorstensen. We'll reach out to you, and you could pick one of whatever you want from our Jump Street store. Like the Jump Street T-shirt right there that he's wearing, that Billy's wearing. I have the
lovely
5-panel hat. We have snapbacks and mugs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, we got branding all over this episode right now.
Or you could buy my hat. It's a Mets hat, but not on our store. You got to go to NewYorkMets.com, buy the hat,
Or any lids
It's
by
nice-
you. Or any lids by you.
or you go to Lids.
All right.
Let's go Mets.
Moving on. Are we ready for our guest today?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the people are ready too.
So this is our second guest of the day, and it's also a guest that had to come from a long place away. He had to fly over the Atlantic Ocean, just like and he did it specifically for this show.
Boom.
That's it. He planned a trip around it, but he was like, you know what? I'm coming out to New York.
In his,
I'm
in
gonna
his
do
long
Jump
list of
Street.
travels.
Yes. So without further ado,
We have
Let's
Ricardo Lino.
I first need to help myself with being a little bit less nervous.
yeah.
Oh, I got to rearrange the cameras. I forgot Amanda's not here.
Oh man, don't be nervous. You're a podcaster yourself.
Now you know what? The thing is, like, when I did a podcast with you, I interrupted you a lot. So now I'm scared that you're going to interrupt me that much.
No. Man.
That's all part of the game. It's like the learning curve to doing this.
I don't think you interrupted me a lot in that. I think that was a good conversation, which is what podcasts are for.
Yeah,
Right?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed
but like
it
a
too.
lot of people didn't. So
Oh, really? Were people?
they loved your part.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what it is? I think we had to learn that in the beginning when we
Mhm.
first started this one. We had to learn to kind of let our guests speak because we were kind of nervous and we were trying to like not have any blank space or awkward space time. So I think we'd compensate by talking a bit more.
I think just natural
or-
in the conversation. You just,
Yeah.
at least we do it as New Yorkers,
Yeah.
interrupt each other.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
part of the learning curve.
Yeah, we're a bit rude here.
And maybe you have some New York roots or something.
Maybe.
Ricardo, welcome though.
Thank you
Came
so
all
much.
the way from Portugal by way of Toronto.
I almost
You're on a
didn't-
long list of travels. You've been up for a long time already.
Yeah, I almost didn't make it, but I'm here.
You're here, and we're glad glad you are here.
How
What?
How did you almost not make it?
Basically, when you book a flight to America, you need to apply to these electronic fees. I think it's called SIPA or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do it right away. And I basically just thought of it when I was actually making the check-in. And they told me, you got the visa, the SEPA thing? And I was like, oh, no. Okay, you can apply for it. So I was applying, and like I was putting my address and everything. And it was just like, you know, when you're nervous and just trying to do it, everything like...
Were you like online? People were like waiting for you and shit.
Yeah, and I was trying to do it on my phone, and it was always like giving me an error, so I couldn't do it.
Oh,
so
no.
I basically just saw like the guys just came to me like, you didn't make it. And then I applied for the visa, finally accepted, and then I got emails saying you're on a waiting list. It's gonna wait until 72 hours, and that's when I send you a message.
Yeah.
I was like, probably,
You're like, I'm not making it.
I'm not gonna make it. And then I didn't even know what to do, because I'm gonna be here for like 3 days, and 72 hours. It's 4 days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it- So it's 3 days. So basically,
Yeah, 3 days, sorry.
I would need to go straight to.
Your next stop.
I didn't knew what I was going to do. I was like stressing, and then suddenly I got the email with everything, and I just had to rebook.
You were just waiting at the airport, like hoping that it would come through.
but
Kind of.
I still had to book another flight.
Yeah.
But and the thing is, like, the lesson here is never buy the cheapest flight you can, because the cheapest flight never give you any
Oh, 'cause you
options.
can't cancel.
Yeah, I had to
No
buy.
insurance.
I had to buy
Yeah. Pay all the money for an extra
a
ticket.
whole new ticket.
Uh-huh.
So
But you made it.
I always buy the cheapest flight I can.
Yeah,
like
me
the
too.
cheapest.
Usually, yeah.
cheapest.
Even it's like you check out. It's like $8.95. Do you want the insurance? You're like, nah, I'm good.
No, I'm not
I
gonna mess
picked this
one
because it
up.
was the cheapest.
I'm not gonna mess this
But
one
there's
up.
another thing here, which is like, imagine if you're gonna fly with WestJets or with whatever it is,
Mhm.
don't buy the ticket through a company that will buy the ticket to them. Because if you buy the ticket through the company, like through whatever, Iberia, WestJet,
Right.
whatever it is, they can still sort you out. But if you buy through another company, it's
They-
automatically canceled.
That's it.
And that's what happened to me, because I bought it through one
Third
of those
party.
companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what everybody gets their tickets to
Yeah.
usually too. It's
Yeah.
rare that people go directly to like
Okay.
the airline to get their tickets.
I
Yeah.
might have teach people something today.
That's it.
Hopefully, we teach them a lot more stuff too.
Yeah, hopefully.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
maybe.
What else are you going on your travels? Because you're already Portugal to Toronto. Or did you go somewhere in between that or no?
Nah, I flew through London, but
Just layover.
yeah. Then Toronto for like 1.5 days. That was it.
And 1.5 days. That's it.
Yeah, it was basically I
Super
got
quick.
there Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I skated Sunday afternoon. Then I skated yesterday till like 1 in the morning, and then
You got
I
it
went
in though while
straight
you were
to the
there.
airport.
Uh,
Slept like an hour.
Did you-
Missed the flight, and I'm here. And now I'm here till it's Tuesday. Like I'm here for like 4 days, and then we just find out that I'm flying
I know that's crazy.
in the exact same flight as Mark to San Francisco.
Yeah, they just found that out now when you went
Yeah,
to
it was
the
like
store.
Nice.
So we're flying to San Francisco on the same day, which is Saturday. Then I don't really know what's happening after. I know that I'm gonna need to be at the Blading Cup, because the reason why I came, it's obviously to be with you guys and to make
Right.
the live stream. It's the truth. To make the Blading Cup live stream. So I tried to organize my trip around it. I really love San Francisco. I haven't been skating in San Francisco for a while. I did ride my bike for like 2 years in a row on this Red Bull event, whatever, like 5 years ago. But I didn't skate it for a long time. So I just want to go Bomb Hills. That's it.
You
It's a
skated
good
there
place
like
to
a
bomb
while
those.
ago. So I remember seeing clips and pictures of you doing like
Chinatown.
Chinatown, like the ledge that goes with the double set.
Yeah, that was like 2002, 2003.
You like
something.
negative acid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane. That's a really gnarly ledge.
I never been to that ledge.
That's
This-
a really
this-
gnarly ledge.
This is very weird for most of the people, but it was, and it still is. Depending on the skates that I have, it's one of those tricks that it's my safe trick.
Hmm.
I somehow, if I have a rail on my left side, it's safer for me to do that than basically a topsoil because I put my leg in a certain position.
That's such a weird.
But it's just I closed like the way that I put my feet and my knees and whatever. I somehow
You just tuck yourself in.
I just
kinda?
tuck myself in a way that if I miss my feet, I sit under the rail and I just slide down on my ass. So like I never really had like a bad fall with it.
Yeah.
So there was kind of like it felt to me that would be the safest trick to do there. And I was in San Diego for like 3 weeks with Ollie Short and this other guy from Portugal. And we were staying with Ryan Schutte. So back then, whatever, like no one knew who I was. And it was a time in skating that you would never be in a magazine. You could be the best, but it was really hard for you to be in a magazine if people didn't know you, and especially especially if you're from Portugal.
Yeah.
The only way for me to have a picture in a magazine or something, and that was like a dream to me, was by doing something kind of like that. So I waited for the last day that I was in San Francisco to do it. So it was kind of weird. And then like some of the San Francisco legends, like Eric Garcia and some other guys were there. It was like, for me, it was like really special, that thing.
That's awesome.
So
Good session.
yeah, it was cool. I remember I really enjoyed that time in San Francisco, especially because of the company that I had back then. Like Ollie Short, no one knew who Ollie Short was back then.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the time of transition for Ollie Short. And
You were there with Ollie?
yeah, we became good friends. Ollie used to be one of those guys that I used to look up for because he was like some underground skater from Europe back then. That was the time that he was going from baggy to like tighter clothes.
Yeah.
He was still not tight. It's like just a different look into skating. So I really enjoyed that somehow, but I would never expect to become so close to Ollie like we did back then. So basically I landed in San Diego, and the day that I landed in San Diego, I realized that Ollie was staying in the same house as I was. So we ended up staying together for like 3 weeks. And
You were there by yourself though? Like you plan on doing that trip
with
by yourself?
another Portuguese guy,
Okay.
a good friend of mine. His name is João. So he was also a skater.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. We ended up staying together for like 3 weeks, and then we met BJ.
PJ Bernhardt?
Yeah. And then BJ, we wanted to go up to North Cal back then. It was like 2002, something like that. And BJ was like, I'll drive you there. There's a kink rail that I want to do. So he drove. I will never
Sick.
forget
So
that. Man.
BJ.
BJ drove all the way up with me, Ryan, Ollie, and this João. He drove all the way there. He tried the rail. He couldn't land it.
Oh my God.
He killed himself.
Was it gnarly?
Yeah.
Must have been.
It was like it's by far the craziest kink rail I've ever seen. I remember that it was like one of those like
Oh, wow.
like Chris Farmer style stuff.
Yeah.
But then when you think it's done, then it goes flat, and then it does like one of those gnarly ones, kind of like just
Whoa.
long, short, long again,
Mhm.
steep. And he got to that part and he fell like hard, like a couple of times. So he couldn't really do anything else. So he basically tried to sleep for a little bit. He woke up the next day in the morning and left. And that was it. He drove 20 hours. He drove about 20 hours
What a
to try
mission.
kink rail and left.
What a mission.
My
But
God.
it's like, since I always loved BJ. It's
Yeah, BJ's a great guy.
Yeah, dude, I was about to say like a lot of people who know you know that you have like long history in skating. You know a lot of the OGs. You have these stories from like what 2002 when you were in California.
yeah.
And so like how did you you've obviously been around and doing this for a very long time. How did you get started? How did you get into it? What year was it? And then the path on.
I don't know. I do know, but I was going to say something. I don't know which podcast I listened from you guys that someone was saying that when people say they started skating, that person was only referring to inline skating and not to quad skating. I don't know who was it.
When you,
Yeah,
because a couple people like Miguel started on quads. He
Yeah,
said,
but that was I don't know if it was Kyle or something like that. They were saying I started skating
maybe
before.
The
But
Kelsos, I could see.
yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, what I started skating when I was 2.5 years old because my sister, which is 4
he starts
years,
getting 2.5 years old.
yeah, because I'm from a small town where the skating culture is quite big, or it used to be, and my sister, which is 4 years older than me, she wanted to start figure skating. So she had some skates, just like every other kid back then. Is like we're talking about like the early 80s, and she wanted new skates. So my parents just gave me those skates. Just when she was going to those figure skating trainings, my parents just put the skates on me and that just left me there. And when they look at me, I was just like holding the walls and trying to walk with those things, which I tried to do with my daughter, and she doesn't want to do it, and she's the same age now. Anyway, so I give up. I know she doesn't want to do it, so
Yeah.
But anyway, so I started doing it like that, and then when I was 5, and I never really stopped it. When I was 5, I remember that I told my mom that I wanted to start playing hockey because it's roller hockey with quads.
I never seen that.
Yeah, it's Portugal is the world champion. But it's like
Probably the only people who play it. That's
no. It's actually quite big.
Oh, I never seen that before.
It's quite big. Like South America has like quite a couple of teams. Like Argentina is like a really good team. Italy, Spain, France. There's like it's quite big.
I
They're
never
like
seen
it's
that.
it's an Olympic sport.
What?
Yeah, it's probably the only skating. No, there's other than figure skating.
Yeah.
Roller skating. It's also roller skating
hockey?
figure roller skating is also an Olympic sport, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I know that
I never seen that
hockey,
either.
roller hockey, it's an Olympic sport.
Hmm.
So let me see if I know it. Okay, so basically when I was 5, I wanted to start playing hockey, but my mom was like, yeah, but if you play hockey, you can only start playing real games when you're 10, so you're going to be just going around with a stick for like 5 years. So why don't you go to this thing, which is you can just run around the track and they make races and whatever. It was speed skating. So I started speed skating when I was 5, and I got really into it. I never really stopped, and I started like winning a lot of things back then that I don't know. There was a lot of people doing it, but it was on roller skates, and I did it for a long time. When I was 13, that's when there was a lot more people started using inline skates than quads, and the people using inline skates started doing a lot better results. So there was a time that I made the transition from inline skates from roller skates to inline
Specifically
skates.
for speed skating, though?
For speed skating.
Yeah,
back
that's
then.
way faster than
But
quads.
you know, the fun part about it was like back then when I wasn't training, and I used to train every day because I was like an athlete even at 13. When I wasn't skating, I used to just be like the kamikaze of the neighborhood, like with the skateboard. I never had like a good skateboard, so they used to build ramps, and I used to go out with them and just steal wood to build ramps. And because I didn't have a good skate, I had like a little front banana truck. We call banana like the short board, like a penny board truck in the front,
totally.
like a regular truck. I didn't have like good
Not
trucks.
for
So
tricks,
I used just be the first one to go and just try to jump the ramps that they would do, like the launch ramps and stuff like that.
Just roast it, no air.
Without ever thinking that I could be using skates to do it. And back then I was already good with skates.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So when I made the transition from roller skates to inline skates, I started seeing people using inline skates on ramps. I was like, how did I never thought about that? Because like,
what year was that?
it was 93, about 93. So that's when I started thinking, like, yeah, I gotta try this. So at the same time that I started speed skating, I also like started putting money on the side. I remember the way that I made money for my first skates. My mom used to give me like, back then was 100 escudos, which is like 50 cents per day, or 50 cents of a euro. And I used to put like, if I used to put every single day that money on the side, I would make about 15 euros by the end of the month. So I like for 4 months I put some money, and then my mom gave me a little bit more, and I bought some Rossi Street, and that was actually my first pair of aggressive inline skates.
Took you a while to get there then.
Yeah, it was like, and then like, I don't remember exactly what month was it, but like my birthday is in November, so they gave me like whatever, like 50 euros. Back then it was in that coin, like in escudos. So they gave me some like 50 euros, and then with Christmas they gave me a little bit more, so I got the money to buy the skates. I remember that I bought the skates. I went to the shop and I paid for the skates, but the skates were only going to be available like 2 months later. So it was like the worst. Like it was the worst 2 months of my life waiting. I was already using inline skates. So back,
I hate paying for something and not
getting it right away.
But you know what I was doing? I started like, I learned how to roll downstairs. I learned how to do 360s because I never did it before on speed inline skates, like a low boot with 5 wheels. And most of the guys on my speed skating team, they didn't even have the inline skates yet because they were very expensive.
So what were they speed skating on?
And still on quads.
On
And
quads.
me with like the new inline skates, I was already
ripping
like jumping
5 wheels,
and like
You were blasting by
Leaving
them
him in
and
the
stuff.
dust.
like breaking
much.
like I had to hide it from my father because like he paid me for the whole skate. Like the skates costed like around 800 euros. If you translate it to the money now, that's like $1,000, something like that.
Damn.
Back then, we're talking about like 93, so there's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, but I couldn't stop myself. So when I got my my Rossi Street back then. Then I started skating, and in 2 months I broke the frame because I started learning how to front flip. And when you try to front flip on those first skates, if you hit the back wheel, it broke.
That you were front flipping already?
Man, it's like it's just whatever I used to see, I wanted to try it.
It's like grommet stuff, though.
Yeah, it's like
grommy fronts.
Yeah.
And when you see it, it's one of those. I think I can do this. I've done it on trampoline. I've done it whatever.
Yeah.
I got it on skates.
Yeah, you don't think in depth technically with skating, especially at that
when
time.
when you're younger too.
It's like 360, front flip, back flip,
Exactly.
mute.
So basically, what happened was like I broke my skates, and then I didn't have money to buy other skates. I went back and got my quads that I wasn't skating anymore, and I started using the old quads that I was using for speed skating to start going to ramps. So I didn't have the money for my second inline skate. So I remember like in I don't want to sound like a smart ass or whatever, like in 94, 95, that's when I first started seeing 94 maybe. Started seeing first people doing Royales and Unities, and I didn't have the skates for it. So I first learned the Royale and the Unity on quads.
What?
Quads?
Yeah, because how's that possible on those?
Because they have like the ones that I used to use, they are like a metal plate. There was no ground box, but there's a metal plate, and the boot used to be like a soccer boot that we used to.
It's soft, isn't it?
No, it's nowadays it's soft, but back then it was like hard plastic, and it had those spikes, not really spikes, like a plastic spike that we used to shave it. So it was like a hard, like almost like a sole plate with the metal plate, creating like a little angle. So to do a Royale, you wouldn't need to lean, you just a little bit. So back then I could Unity, I could Royale, and then I got inline skates again. I never played with roller skates anymore.
Jeez.
Until like
because you were like, yo, now I'm sliding for real.
Now I got like the proper shit. It was like some K2 phase or whatever, which broke like
that's probably
K2 phase.
That's probably such a transition, doing like Royales and Unities and quads to like getting some K2 fatties and being like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's a big difference.
What I could
Having
do,
the right
like-
tool for the job.
Yeah.
The biggest difference was the hardest part with all these was that I became like, I don't know how to say it, I don't know the right words for it, but it's something like I was representing Portugal as a speed skater. I was part of the Portuguese speed skating team. When I was 15, I was part of the main team, like competing with like, I remember I used to go to the European Championships, and I couldn't go to the after party because I wasn't old enough, stuff like that. So I was really training into it, and I had a coach, and my coach, I had to hide that I was going to the ramps with my.
Why? Why didn't they want you going?
Because I was
do I get hurt?
I was training.
These guys on the Portuguese team.
I know, they didn't want you to get hurt.
I was training 3 times per day some days. I had to go like a part of the train on skates, or
it's like the Mighty Ducks of speed skating.
but it's just
That's crazy.
But it's the thing that made me hate it. I started
the training, right?
I started hating speed skating, and not because it's not a cool thing, whatever. Because now I just put my skates on and I do it,
right?
Do marathons and stuff. But it's just like because it became like an obligation.
Yeah.
So
the coaching, the stress,
and I couldn't do what I was really enjoying.
No freedom, right? It didn't seem like much freedom.
I gave up. I remember I trained a full summer, 3 times per day, almost every day for the whole summer. And when the end of the summer came, like they made like a little last train with the Portuguese team, and they said like, we're not gonna take to the World Championships in Argentina because you're very young. You still have time to go there. And I was like 15. No, 16. Sorry, this time I was 16. And by this time I was 16. And they said you're still very young. And I did better results than most of the guys of the speed skating team. But they said you'll have time to do it. And if you're gonna do this, you might probably lose your school for the year. You might need to repeat the full year and all that. But for me, that was like the end. And that was the last time that I speed skated. It's just like I wasn't feeling it, and then that thing was like, nah.
Too many rules.
They took your
they
took your Argentinian trip from you, man. That sucks.
Yeah, I still never been to Argentina.
See,
but the best thing with that was that after that, I focused on like street skating.
Yeah.
So when I mean focus is like no one telling me you can't do it. I started doing it more often. That was it.
That's what's so good about it, though. There's no one push. Like you go at your own pace. You want to do something, do it. You don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah, it was cool. And at the same time, it was cool because I also got my parents to support me in that, because they used to be kind of like a little bit against it, against the street skating stuff, because I had competition and I had good results and all that.
Yeah.
They were never like that. Like they were always super supportive. But once I like decided to do something like this is what I love to do, It's not about competing or anything, but this is what I love to do. They started supporting me a lot, and since then,
That's great.
the only reason why I'm here.
That's awesome.
Were you saying before that your parents skated too, or you come from like
No, my sister.
your sister? Oh, just your sister. Okay.
Yes,
I
but
thought it was like had to do with your parents.
Yeah, no, but I come from a town where there's like a lot of culture in skating. Basically, we have a lot of people doing hockey skating. We used to have like a really good speed skating team, figure skaters. And there's still people doing it nowadays, but it's very different. And I see a lot of different things, a lot of things that I would love to be different nowadays, but that's something that we can talk about.
Well, you're into all that stuff now anyway, though. With your, is it like on your YouTube channel, you review a lot of different kinds of skates. You review, aggressive skates, quad skates, speed skates, and rec blades and stuff like that. Is that something that has to do with your background coming from all these things, or you would just be interested in that anyway, you think?
I think I've always been interested in gear. I've always been like a geek when it comes to skates.
You're the opposite of this guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
But at the same time, I remember like a few, like with all these things that we were talking about, I really wanted to skate. And I remember I had this conversation with my father. It was like, my parents really wanted me to study something. And I remember them telling me, like, if you really want to be able to do that, like when you're like older person, whatever, you might want to try to study something that give you kind of like a backup for it. Like in case, like as an example, I ended up studying sports science. I got like a degree in sports science that I never really used. I tried to be like a personal trainer for a couple of years, but it's just nothing to do with me. But the whole learning of like the process of training or how to teach like a movement to someone, you learn how to teach someone.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays I try to put all that I learned, because I always loved it, with my passion, which is skating. I try to put it all together, and I guess that's the reason why I do what I do. I can't imagine myself without it, because whoever knows me, they know, like, if I go to skate park, I might be skating with this guy, which is like, dude, it's been one of my favorite skaters since forever.
Mm-hmm.
And if I see him doing something that sometimes you see that someone, even if he's the best guy in the world, if he does something wrong, I can't just shut and not tell him. Like, I can't, man. It might seem rude.
No, good. No, be honest.
But it might seem rude, but it's not, because I'm not saying like you're bad. It's nothing like that. I just want to
like
see
educating,
you.
like
I just
teaching.
want to see you do it. That's it. It's
To me, it's more rude to be dishonest. Be honest, man.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I just mean.
You could be honest without being, a dick.
It's like when someone has like spinach stuck between their teeth. Like, do you tell them? Do you not tell them?
Yeah.
It's like embarrassing to tell them,
You
but
have
like,
to.
yeah, you have to.
Yeah, or else you're a jerk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, like you're saying, like it's so much of your life, and you get to this point, you find the blades, the K2 fatties, and you incorporate it in your life to the point where you travel the world. It takes you to South Africa. You had a skate shop.
Dude, it's crazy.
Right? No, yeah, I know.
The whole story behind that is just mad. Like, if I
Do you want to?
How did you end up in South Africa?
Do you have time?
Yeah,
Because it's crazy. Because basically,
I'm gonna go get a slice. Is that okay? I'm just kidding.
So it's just weird, because I remember one of the most important things for me in skating was having someone. That was the time that I started doing shows in Portugal for association, whatever you call it, called Radical Skate Club.
Was it Launchbox or what?
They had like a launch box, they had like quarter pipes, rails, whatever. They had like a whole. It was the circuit from the skateboarding nationals. They used to go around into a lot of places, and they invited a couple of inline skaters, and I was one of the guys, like on the second and third year. And one of the guys that used to do the demos with me, I never told him this, but his name was Bruno Monteiro. He was the only guy in Portugal before, whatever I'm gonna speak after, to be like. He was the first guy to be sponsored by like a team, like internationally. He was sponsored by K2, and they used to send him skates with like his own color, like the custom skates and all that. He was amazing.
So he was the one before you.
He was back then. He was just way ahead of everyone else in Portugal. So I remember him telling me once in one of those things, like, "There's no way, no one in Portugal will ever be able to live from skating." And that thing, it mean that in a way that it might seem weird, but for me, that thing just hit me in the head in a way that I was like, no, it's gotta be possible. But somehow it's like, it's gotta be possible.
You took it as a challenge more than like
maybe, but somehow along the way, I kind of like I got into university. I started studying sports, like I told you, and I went into Erasmus to Hungary. And this was about the time that I came to California. When I came to California, I made a couple shots, like a couple of pictures, in like the negative acid that you said, and a couple more with Ryan Schutte, Dan Bust. I've stayed with them. Like I stayed with the best photographers. I met all the best guys, but I was this Portuguese guy that no one would ever care about because it was just a Portuguese guy, you know. So then,
What do you mean just a Portuguese,
Portuguese
guy?
guy.
it's
Hey,
different,
just
man.
a Portuguese guy.
No, but back then it's different, man. Back then it's like you would need. Why do you think so many people wanted to move to California? And
Right, like in terms of like the blading scene, it wasn't.
Exposure and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, so it was
not well known in terms
Yeah.
of. Gotcha.
I could have like good shots, whatever, but
Yeah.
it's no one knows. So it's,
Mhm.
Deli
Yeah.
bread was like a thing, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
you could have a good shot, and these other guy had a good shot, but you were Billy, the other guy was no one,
Oh,
so
of
it
course,
was
yeah.
yours.
The
Yeah.
name
Because the
does
kids
it.
want, so
Totally.
that's what happened. So
Yeah,
no one wanted to use.
especially in that time when they were trying to build people.
Mhm.
You know.
Exactly.
So,
So-
yeah.
What happened was, I came back to Europe. I remember Ollie called me one day. Hey, you got a picture on Daily Bread, like just like a double spread page was just the front side or whatever in San Diego. But in Portugal, there was not even Daily Bread back then. So whatever. I went to
you
an
couldn't even see
event.
it?
I went to an event that
They didn't
weekend.
have Daily Bread in Portugal.
We had for a couple of years, but then we stopped having it.
So you couldn't even
man.
see it.
I didn't saw that one. And
Sorry,
whatever.
so
So
go ahead,
then
man.
I went to this event. Was the X battle? Was the finals of the X battle in Madrid? That Mark Moreno was there.
Yeah,
It was actually the first time that I met Mark.
I think I might have met. Was
No,
that the one with the?
no, that was
that was another
yeah,
one. Okay,
that was after.
gotcha.
It was before that.
Okay.
So basically, I went to that event and like my favorite skaters back then were there. It was like Ollie Short and Friedel and Elbow. They were both there. They were like my favorite skaters.
Yeah, Frito is so good.
from the whole world. They were
Yeah.
both there.
Yeah.
And I ended up winning that. Don't ask me how. It like started raining, and I was just like pumped to.
Did they compete?
What year was that?
Yeah, they all.
You beat your favorite skaters.
Ah man, I wouldn't say. You know,
Of course you did.
The truth is, like, I think it started raining, and most other people probably didn't skate. Probably that's what happened. I don't know. I do know that I was so pumped, probably
Yeah.
because of the picture of the Daily Bread. that Rachel was on.
Yeah.
And
Oh shit, that's Ricardo from Daily Bread.
no man,
Be like,
it-
yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Frontside,
Oh,
Mr.
shit.
Frontside.
man.
Oh, damn, that's Ricardo from Daily Bread.
it's stupid, probably, but it's just
No.
like I was pumped.
Totally,
So
it's not
I
stupid.
ended up winning that event, and Kato was there.
Okay.
So Kato back then told me like, man, if you come to California, I might give you some skates and we can do something.
Oh, nice.
So then I was in contact with
He was
Ryan.
always good in supporting the European scene, you know.
Because he's an
'Cause,
European.
Of course, yeah.
Mhm.
And I knew Kato from before that. Before that, I had like a good result, like in a street skating event, like in the south of France,
Mhm.
in Montpellier, but that was way before.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting back home and telling my parents, like, it's the time. Like, if I go to California right now, I might actually be able to do something with skating. It's for the people watching this now that just get into skating now, they don't understand. For the people that was in
Mhm.
skating like back then, they might
Mhm.
understand it was like a different time. It,
Yeah.
was,
Right.
it was possible to actually live from skating. I
Yeah.
never thought it would be possible for me,
Yeah.
even if I had the challenge that we spoke
Mhm.
before. But what happened was that my parents are like, okay, like, let's try to do it. We're gonna try to support you. And my parents really paid my trip. I had no money, no nothing,
Oh,
and
damn.
they paid my trip. I told Ryan Schutte that I was coming, and back then he was like already more inside Daily Bread than it was the first time that I've been in California. So when I came, he was like, man, if you come here, we might be able to do like an interview with you, especially if you're gonna be skating for Rams. We can do something with it.
Yeah.
I came the first day that I tried the Rams. It was the first pair of Rams.
Mhm.
I got that clip that was on, probably don't remember, the clip that was on the 4x4 video, leading the blind. I did like a negative acid like into like a gap, whatever. I tried it a few times, and then I did like a true Mizu to gap like a few times too, and I just
On like a
busted-
ledge or a rail, or was it?
yeah, it's like this ledge that starts like kind of low and then ends like high.
Oh, I know that spot. It's
Yeah.
like in San Diego, goes down over the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
negative acid, but there was
No,
no
that-
landing. I
That
landed,
ledge is crazy.
but I landed like in a there was like a land, like a 2 meters land, like
Yeah.
6 feet landing.
Yeah.
And then it was like dirt, whatever. They were like there was some construction work.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried it a few times. I ended up busting my heel. I was in California for 2 weeks, and the first week and a half I couldn't skate. So I was like putting pressure on myself. The last 3 days I need to really skate.
Mhm.
I was like, I need to skate because if I skate, I can
Mhm.
get that interview thing.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the Portuguese guy was coming, whatever. So the last 3 days I was like feeling better, and the first trick that I go out to try to do was just like a unity on like this metal, like it was a drop ledge, like
Mhm.
kind of like a rail, whatever, wooden like I don't even know how was it. I know that I landed like with my foot like all bent, whatever, and I thought I twisted my ankle, which a few years later I ended up realizing it was broken, which I never treated as a broken foot.
Years later?
Yeah, I realized it after, because I couldn't do anything for about 3-4 months.
Did you go to the hospital? Or?
No, I was in California. I took like as much stuff that I could just.
Oh
do.
my
Okay,
God.
this is just like you taught about the cheap tickets. I'm going to teach everyone. If you're in California, go to the hospital. They gotta take care of you over there. They would have taken care of you, man.
I don't know, man. I know that like everyone gave me like pills. I took them. I slept. I slept for 3 days.
Oh.
I got back home.
For 3 days.
I got back home like on crutches, and then from then like I couldn't do anything for like about 1.5 months.
Yeah.
And after that, I moved to Hungary to study the second semester of my third year of sports science. When I got there,
I didn't know you moved to Hungary for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
either.
moved there for 2 years in a row.
Budapest?
Győr, which is a little bit south, but then I used to go to Budapest every weekend or to Vienna. That's why I
Wow.
started getting along with the guys from DMEG, but we'll get that later. So the thing is, then when I got to Budapest, I remember that I got this message. I think it was from Justin Eisinger, saying like, man, we don't have your pictures, we can't really do anything, but we do have the pictures that you did from your last time in California. The one pictures that I told you, they had a couple of pictures, but no one could use because it was just a Portuguese.
You're a Portuguese guy.
So I was like, yeah, but you're not skating with Rams, and now you're about to start skating for Rams. So what you want to do? I was like, man, I think Kato will not get mad at me because it's my only opportunity to do it, and then we can actually do something with it. So they went ahead and do the whole part, like it was like 4 or 5 pages.
Were we skating the first time?
USDs.
Okay.
So the day the thing came out, the exact same day the thing came out, I was living in Hungary by myself. I remember I went to the library and I was just checking my email. I don't even know why I was checking my email when I was like in 2004 or whatever. It was like probably because of the school, whatever. So I went to check my email and I had an email from Mark Corti asking me if I wanted to skate. They would pay me a salary. They would give me a pro skate, like a guy can skate. That before that I used to talk with Ollie Short. We discussed the colors of the Ollie Short skate, that then he moved to Rossi's, and that skate was about to become my pro skate, which never happened, but doesn't matter. But so like in the
So
end,
Ali
like,
was going to get a pro USD that was going to be your
Yep.
USD, and then it didn't
Yeah.
happen anyway.
but that was my fault. That's
Okay.
it. But anyway, so the thing is, I remember I was in that library in Hungary, and I was like reading that, and like somehow I had like a little like tear coming down, like, dude, that guy told me that would never be possible to make 1 single cent from skating. It wasn't a good salary, but it was something. There was
Right.
a brand that was
No,
about.
You gotta start
it's
somewhere.
huge,
So for
yeah.
me, that was like a huge thing.
Totally.
And then like I don't know, it's just like it was like European pro for USD, whatever. But then from then I never really stopped, and then I spoke with Kato.
What do you mean European pro? If you're pro, you're pro, man.
It was back then. It wasn't the same, especially
It's
because
messed up.
nowadays
All
even-
pros weren't treated equally.
No, it's not, man. No, it's not.
Inequality in blading.
Yeah.
There was a time that I didn't even understood the theme, which was there was pro, there was international,
Yeah, there
There
was
was
international
Euro.
pro. Yeah.
which I don't know what that means, but it doesn't,
Yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense.
yeah,
anyway.
but it's
international from where? Like
By
Not
international-
America.
by
Yeah,
international. I think they just mean that it's a pro, but not from America. It would be Carlos Pianowski, Daniel
Right.
Prel, whatever,
Okay.
and that was it.
So we're going through this journey, but we still haven't gotten to how you got to
South Africa.
South Africa.
Okay, so
Because you're just traveling through the world now. You're going to California.
No,
now you're in Hungary.
for work or for school.
yeah, I started.
So now what?
I finished my graduation. When I really finished my graduation, I wanted to start working on something that was related to what I studied, and I thought like living from skating is not a thing. Somehow, after a couple of years on it, and I tried to leave from like being a personal trainer, which I did. I had like good salary and whatever I could live in Lisbon, but my body wasn't good because of falls like the one I had in Cali that I never treated, and all
Right.
that. Like, so my feet were never the same. My feet, like even now, if I skate a lot, if there's impact, my feet will just swell like
Right.
crazy. So somehow I started skating a little bit less, but I was still skating, and there's a day that my car just broke. I had to go to work, so I bought a bike just to move around. Then the guy, like, I guess you're the same. You get a bike, you need the bike to move around, but it's just so addicted to just doing tricks and just challenging yourself. You start pushing a little bit more, and then spending money because the bikes are breaking and all that stuff. And then in the end, when I realized I was actually going full on the bike and I was learning how to grind, and then I was like, dude, if
This is like fixed gear bike you're talking about, not BMX.
Yeah,
Okay.
fixed gear bike. If I can roll on the grass and do this ledge, that means that all these ledges that I always wanted to do on inline skates that land on dirt or on grass, I can do them with this. So I was like, dude, I just need to learn how to do rails. And then I ended up getting better at it.
You were hitting rails on the fixed gear bike.
Somehow it just...
That's crazy.
Because I had the skater's mentality, you know?
Yeah.
This is for me, this is the only way to ride a spot. I couldn't imagine myself doing those spinning things on but I'm not complaining. I really wish I had the patience to learn, or like the will to learn that. I couldn't. I wanted to challenge myself and like feel that adrenaline, which nowadays I don't really need it the same way anymore. But I started riding my bike like that, and I started working for a company that makes skate parks in Portugal. That was the time that we started getting a little bit more in contact.
Right.
Because I used to travel a lot just to make parks and make projects and all that. In one of the projects, I had to go to Angola. And I went to Angola for an event. I made a little documentary called... I don't remember, sorry.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah, about skating in Angola. Whatever. I don't really remember the name. But then I got invited for another event. And after my first time going to Angola, back then I was married. And... me and my ex-wife, things were just not working between us. We're like really good friends. Even now we're good friends, but things were not working between the two of us. So we split, and I was like, dude, I was a bit lost, like, which is perfectly normal. And this company from Angola invited me to go to another show. So I went to the show, and when I got there, they spent like $1 million for a show, and the whole thing was just a mess. It was like really bad.
For $1 million, and it was a mess?
Yeah, but Angola used to be like a country where there used to be a lot of money because of the oil. So imagine, how can I explain it? Like you would pay like probably $20 for a pack of 4 yogurts. It was like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then their economy crashed. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The thing is, like, I got there and I realized the whole thing was wrong, and I was like talking to a guy like, "Hey, who's organizing this?" And I got like, "It's me." I was like, oh. "I'm sorry, but like you guys." I'm like. Sorry, but you guys are like doing a lot of things that should
this kind of sucks.
No,
man.
it's just kind of like that. Like this was sorry, but there's a lot of things that you should be doing different. It's like, yeah, we really need help. Would you be into help? And like, I would
get
love
a piece
to.
of that $1 million, and I'll help a little bit.
No, it was not really like that.
I'm joking.
Yeah, it was, what happened was like the next day, the event was still happening, and they picked me up. They took me to like a fancy hotel in Angola, which is like I didn't even know those things exist there. And I was speaking to a guy, and it was just like, man, we need your help. So what do you think we need? And like, first thing that you need to have like a successful show is to not have like a 15 days, the same show every single day. You need to concentrate it, because whoever is coming to see it, if there's 15 different ones, you will never, they wanted like powerful shots with a lot of people in it, but they do it for 15 days. There will never be the day that everyone is there. So if you concentrate, it's going to be different. I told them, why don't you go and you see like a nitro circus, which is the top of the top that you can have in action sports shows. Yeah. And let's try to go to a city that is very similar to...
So this is somewhat recently then?
That was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Okay.
That's something which is similar to what you want to do. Like a action sports show, but like the best in the world, and then you can actually compare.
Yeah.
Like a bad one you did to something. So they were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's look at the map. Let's go to Mexico City. 2 days before Mexico City, Travis Pastrana broke his leg.
Oh, no.
And I got an email saying the show is canceled. And I said, you know what?
Are you kidding? They can't do the show without him?
They didn't back then. What? So it's like, you know what? I got my tickets. The guy didn't want to go. I went to Mexico for 2 days, like myself. I went, nice. Like, I didn't have a bike or anything. I went to the bike shop because back then I was starting to being a little bit known for biking. So I went to a bike shop. The guys helped me there. So I went out. I partied with the local guys in Mexico City. I flew back to Portugal. 2 weeks later, I was flying to South Africa because it was the second city that would be somehow close to Luanda. So we flew to Cape Town. I landed in Cape Town. 2 other guys were like my bosses, like the guys from the company. I was being... at this time, I was having a contract with these guys to be a consultant for this company. It was an energy drink company called Speed. And I was sitting with these guys watching the show. The show ended. They went back to the hotel. We had food. They went back to the hotel. I was like, man, I actually want to go out, and I never ever go out by myself. I went out by myself, and I found my wife. It's just weird. I went to a 80s place. I found this girl that was completely drunk. I got completely drunk. We didn't know each other's name, and now we have a 2.5 years old daughter, and we have another kid on the way. It wasn't made then, of course, but like what happened?
First day.
What happened was like
That happens though.
no, like it was kind of weird because we didn't even change names or like numbers, whatever. But I remember when I left the place where I was, which is called Deco Dance. It's just a weird name. But I left, and like because her friends didn't know who I was, I wrote my phone number in one of her friends, and just like this is me in case something happened. She's with me, and I left. The next day, she got back to her friends, and like we never spoke again. Like I landed in Holland for the Winter Clash. After that, I went from Cape Town to the Winter Clash. I was saying with Adrian and this girl just sent me a message. Hey, I hope you made a good trip. This is Janice, the girl that you met. Like,
And then your heart fluttered.
we started talking a lot. A few months later, she was coming to Europe. She came to visit me. I came to visit her in South Africa, and I was like, I got back to Portugal. Like, I went back to my boss, like the skate park guy that I was building. I was like, sorry, man. I have this consultant job that can give me enough money for me to survive. I'm gonna risk it, and that's what I did. I flew to South Africa without knowing what was going to happen, but I just risked it.
To live with her.
It was the best thing that I've done.
Oh shit.
I got there, like the company from Angola never paid me again. Somehow they had like they ended up paying me like few months ago, which was amazing. It helped me buying a car in Portugal when I moved back, but it doesn't matter. So basically, they couldn't pay me because there was like a huge economical crisis. I had to find ways to survive, and in my ways to survive, I ended up creating a shop, which is still there. We moved back to Portugal after living 4.5 years in South Africa for the safety of our daughter, because South Africa, it's an amazing place, especially Cape Town, it's amazing. But we were feeling like to raise a child, we would love to be in a place that we could give her a little bit more freedom. And there's something that it was a bit frustrating for me, which I don't want to be that touch like in such a sensitive thing, but I don't want my kid to grow up saying black and white. I grew up looking at you, and if you're black or white, for me it's the exact same. It doesn't matter as long as you have the skill, you have the job. And I was living in a place that was completely different, and I don't want to discuss the reasons because it was way before me, and I understand some of the things, I don't understand others, but it's also not my role to try to understand racism happening in South Africa, but it's my role to give the best to my daughter, and that's why I moved back to Portugal. It was the best thing that I did.
Makes sense.
And you left the skate shop in South Africa. That's
It's still working. We have like someone that started working with us 2 years before we moved. So basically the last year we were preparing, his name is Mo. We were preparing Mo to become like the shop manager, and my wife, her job in Portugal, because she doesn't speak Portuguese, so you can imagine it's really hard for her to get like a job. But she's managing Mo, basically all the orders that we do and all that. And it's a small business.
She was working on the shop in South Africa too, or no?
No, she wasn't.
Okay, so she just started doing that.
Yeah, she was a visual merchandiser for actually like a big company from the UK, but she chose again.
For her daughter.
Yeah, it's the best we could have done too. Like in this time of our life, it was important.
Right.
And now we have a second one coming, so we'll see how it goes.
That's good. Congratulations
That's
on
awesome,
that, by
man.
the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You had a whole like life just changed around. Everything just changed.
It's been like.
Yeah, what a story.
At least you're back in a familiar place, though. At least for yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, your wife might be struggling a little bit, but you got some sort of edge on it.
She's getting there, and we both know why we're doing it. And at the same time, because of my job role nowadays, I get to travel a bit, and we get to travel together. Because in Europe, it's a lot easier to travel. So it's actually
That's awesome.
working for.
Is she learning Portuguese?
She's learning Portuguese.
Yeah.
Slowly, but it's getting there.
What about are you raising your daughter to speak English or Portuguese first?
Yeah, so first, what we were doing was our... when we were in South Africa and we didn't knew that we wanted to move to Portugal yet, I used to speak Portuguese with her, and my wife used to speak English, and all the cartoons and all the things that the kids watch, we were watching in Portuguese, because in school, like in kindergarten, she was having like English education. But 1 year before we moved to Portugal, we decided it wouldn't make sense to me speaking Portuguese with her. Like, let's just embrace the English, and whatever we do is in English, because she's gonna have a Portuguese education, and that's what's happening right now. She's speaking English with us easy, and she goes to school and she asks for everything in Portuguese.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she's growing.
She's a step ahead of everyone.
That's good.
Yeah,
A step ahead of the game.
It's gonna be really good for her.
That's awesome.
So,
congrats, man. That's badass.
I feel like it would be a crime to have you on here and not talk about some sort of gear or stuff that you'll be doing on your YouTube channel.
okay.
You've grown a lot on YouTube. You have a nice following, and you're not biased towards a specific type of, like, what's your tagline? My name is Ricardo, and I'm a wheel addict.
Yeah.
So you like all types of wheels, sports. You do quad skating, aggressive skating, inline, I guess, like rec skating, speed skating, all that stuff.
Fix gear bike.
Do you do fix your bike stuff on your channel?
Yeah, I do some stuff.
Do you? Okay, I never seen any of those
I
videos.
haven't been riding bikes that often, especially since I moved to South Africa, because when I first moved, I had no car, and that was my way to move around.
Mm-hmm.
And if my bike would break in certain places, it would be actually dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So I use my bike as transportation.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I bought a scooter just to move around, like a moped, I ended up not using my bike that much there.
Mhm.
Because if I wanted to go street skating, like street riding a bike, you break parts the whole time, and you can't get them in South Africa.
Oh, shit.
And now since I moved back to Portugal, I actually had to bring so much stuff, like packing 5 years of your life. It's not easy. But like I couldn't bring the bike, which I'm bringing back in December. So yeah, it's there.
So
but
the
it's
bike's
not-
on hold.
Yeah, it's there, but it's not there. You know, but it's also something that is a lot harder on my body,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and it's not where I am right now.
I feel like the bike would be easier on your body than skating.
It would if I wouldn't be thinking of the rails and.
Oh, okay. You got to keep your mind off that
Yeah,
shit, I
thinking
guess.
about riding.
Yeah, I guess
what he
that's
was
different
doing.
things.
Yeah.
So
But with your channel now, you do reviews, product reviews and stuff like that. What's like your favorite? You do podcasts and stuff also and all those things, and you travel a lot. You do like vloggy type of things. What's your favorite aspect of your YouTube channel that you love doing?
the thing that I like the most is like going to places and actually record a video of it. It's kind of like these
Traveling stuff.
vlogging stuff,
Yeah.
if you want to call it. But the
Mhm.
reason why I like it so much is because I feel like I'm writing something that even if no one watches it, in 10 years from now,
For
I
yourself.
can go and watch it.
Mhm.
It's kind of weird. I don't know if probably no one that is watching my stuff nowadays like it, because it's the truth, because I became really oriented to skating. But one of my first videos was the day that we find out that my wife was pregnant. So we got that the day that I went to buy the pregnancy test, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
actually those type of things
Mhm.
for me are important. Like the same with skating. Skating is such a big part of my life,
Mhm.
and being able to yesterday being in Toronto
Mhm.
and meeting someone that I just met through the internet, but he's probably the biggest YouTuber right now. His name is Bill Stoppard, and going out and skate with a guy that's completely different from me. It's someone with ice hockey background that could never make it in ice hockey, so he's inline skate. And for me to be able to skate with someone like that, just skating around the city,
Mhm.
it's cool for me nowadays.
And he's like the biggest. You're saying he's like the biggest blading YouTuber?
Probably.
Yeah.
He's probably has 80,000 something people
Wow.
following wherever he's doing. But at the same time,
Come on,
I
guys,
guess-
subscribe, like,
I-
go to our page, share our videos. Come on, we got to catch up with my boy.
this is very. I can give some tips to the people watching this to make this thing grow, which is very, very important. There's one thing that
Okay.
sometimes people do they don't understand. When a video come out, like your videos, why it's so important for the people to actually subscribe and click on that bell that you always say.
Mhm.
Why it's so important is because when the video comes out, the faster the people started watching, and the more of your video people watches it, the more YouTube is going to suggest it to other
Mhm.
people. And sometimes if you put a video in the wrong time of the day, and that's why it's so good what you do, like you record the live, but then you take it off, and then you actually upload like a proper file.
Right.
It's important when the proper file comes out that the people watches it,
Mhm.
and as fast as they can. It's not like, I'm gonna watch it later.
So the speed that someone clicks on it matters also?
Yes, because the fastest the engagement is, the more it's resulting. Let's not forget, it's a business for YouTube.
Of
Yeah.
course,
This
yeah.
is a business.
Mhm.
So you do videos more than, this is getting a bit geeky for YouTube, but
Yeah.
when your videos are more than 10 minutes, which most of your
Yeah.
videos are, you can choose where you want the ads to be.
Right.
Meaning that you can have more than one ad.
Yeah.
YouTube wants to have longer than 10 minutes videos. So by having longer than 10 minutes, they're going to suggest your video a bit more.
Mhm.
Now, if you can have a few ads if they're going to be able to play the ads means that they're going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
They make 45% of whatever profit you do with, even if it's not a lot, it's a little bit, but they do a little bit with you, a little bit with me, a little bit with Bill, a little bit whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, they get the biggest.
And I think that's why, like, I heard, like, the interactions matter. Like, people, like, you know, commenting and sharing, because those things, like, YouTube notices that as well.
I was telling this to Austin too. Like, another thing which is really important, and I know a lot of people hate it, and I try not to do it. That, how do you call it? Like, when people puts a picture of something or the text or like a title, and it's not really what the video.
Clickbait?
Yeah, the whole clickbait thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad, but you need to be smart.
People probably make a ton of money off that, though.
Yeah, of course.
It's like luring people
not
in.
really,
Yeah.
because the AI nowadays, like for YouTube, they have like, there's even websites where you can put the link of your video and it's going to rate your video according to your thumbnail. If it goes with your
that's
title,
crazy. I didn't know any of that stuff.
if it goes according to your title with your description. So there's 3 very important things: your title, your description, and your tags should match. Should have at least some stuff that match. At least the main title, the title of your video needs to be in the description and needs to be one of the tags. Obviously nowadays things are less and less important, because the most important thing is actually the engagement as fast as possible, because YouTube don't want to make $10 tomorrow if they can make it in 5 minutes.
Right.
So if
They don't want something sitting on the shelf.
if they're making 10 minutes with you in 5 minutes, they're gonna suggest it more, and then they're gonna end up making 20 euros with you, like, in 25 minutes. So in the end, they want people to engage with your videos as fast as possible, and they're gonna end up suggesting the videos.
There's a whole
there
science
you go.
behind all this social media
And that's like,
stuff.
remember when, like, about 2 weeks ago, I told you, like, I think you uploaded like one of those short videos.
Yeah.
And it was
Too
really
soon before the other
yeah,
one.
and I was telling you, like, usually there's a spike that takes, that thing kind of varies, goes different from time to time, because they keep on changing. When people start catching up, they change it. But when you upload a video, it kind of, there's like a spike that goes about 48 hours. So about 48 hours, they wouldn't suggest a video that much, unless someone, for some reason, like if like a big website or whatever posts your video, and then a lot of people start watching, and then like, oh, there's a spike here.
Yeah, they suggest it again. Right.
But in general, you want to wait to that spike. When you see that spike is going down, there's no way down. It's not really no views. That's the time to post another one. And a lot of times what we do is, like, I do it a lot too, because a lot of times I just don't care about the way it goes. I'm so excited
You
about
want to upload something.
I'm just so excited about something. I just do it. I know
Totally.
it's not the best for the channel, because if I
I'm
wait,
sure a lot
it's
of
gonna
people
be
do that too.
But you just want to get it out there.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm just so excited about like being here or meeting something or whatever. I just want to do it. But the way to do it in order to grow is by that most important thing, other than the title of everything or anything else, it's the thumbnail. It's the most important thing. With yours now, it's, from what I see, that's what I was telling you, it's cleaner than it was, and it's like a logo that people start recognizing. But if it was something like a shark with an open mouth, like whatever, well, I'm not telling you to do anything like that, but it's something that when you put it really small, when you see it on the phone, it's like, wow, what's this?
Should be recognizable.
It's got to make
for
it
what
attractive.
Yeah, it needs to be attractive as small. Like, you need to put it really small, because most of the people, they will see it like this size on the phone.
it's true, like an inch.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what, like, 85% of the people would watch it from phone.
Yeah.
That's, man, first of all, you're like a wealth of knowledge. Like,
Social guru.
You know your stuff. And yeah, we appreciate that. And
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm
obviously
sure a lot of people appreciate
all the other
that.
YouTubers out here, like, I'm sure, like, really happy to hear that knowledge.
Uh-huh.
I want to, if we can, pull it back to you and your skating, if we could,
Of course.
And I gotta ask, because hearing all this stuff, and you know, such a long trip you've been on with your skating, 2.5 years old. You know, you've been in California, you know, school in Hungary, you went to Angola, South Africa. You've come back, and you're still going so strong. You're like me, getting up in the numbers and age, and you seem like a man on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your mission?
I want to make more people skate. I don't want this thing. This thing will, as long as I can, will never die. I will, like, do everything that I can. Like, the reason why I do it, like, that's, and I'm not cashing anything. I can't complain. I actually can live from skating nowadays. I put everything that I can into skating. At the moment, I'm here because if some people watch my videos and see that sometimes I say, like, if they use a certain code, which is code Lino on Add-on Skate or Bladeville, they get 10% discount from this code. The shop also pays me 10%. They don't pay me because what I want to do with those 10%, I usually either buy gear or I buy trips to make more content. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm here because Mirek from Add-on Skate, from the stuff that people bought using my code, paid for my trip here. I could have choose just to put the money on my pocket for something. I chose to come here and put my time into something that I knew that no one was going to do. So I asked John if someone was going to do the live stream for Blading Cup. No, okay, so I'll do it. I don't want anything from it.
You want to keep this culture
Exposure.
that we have alive,
Dude, I want more people to skate. That's it. And that's why I started working with the company that I work with. For two reasons. Number one, I need to leave and I need... So, going back a little bit. I started working with a company called Micro, which there's a little bit of a thing around it. I can talk about it or not. It's probably... I'm not probably the right person to talk about it because a lot of the things happened before me.
Okay.
But I can't talk. Whatever, we'll see how it goes. But the thing is...
You can talk if you want, man.
We'll see. The thing, I don't have a problem about it. But what I'm saying, like, let me just try to explain what happened. But like, the first ever meeting that I had with this company, my priority number one is my family. My priority number two is my passion for skating. And I need to find ways to make this thing going. The only way for me to be able to leave from skating is by making skating succeed. I don't want to steal anything from anyone. I don't want anyone to fail. I want everyone. I want you to succeed. I want everyone that has something related to skating to succeed. I don't want to steal anyone's piece of the cake. I want the cake to grow.
I feel what you're saying. Like you can't leave till your work's done. It's like one of those things, right? Like you gotta you won't feel right leaving if it's not finished. You know, I know what you're saying.
I don't think I will ever.
Well,
leave.
no, we're not finished,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Like in a good place. At least,
Yeah.
It's basically I think that the easiest way to explain, and I had a conversation with Matthias about this 2 weeks ago. Matthias is the owner of Power Slide. 2 weeks ago, which we have a really good relationship, even if I don't work anymore.
Matthias, if you want to sponsor our show, just hit us up. Jump Street Podcast.
By the way, I think that the guys from
that'd be lovely.
I think the guys from Add-on Skate have been trying to podcast.
We talked to him at Winter Clash, and then
They're waiting on your email.
If you want
my email, I was waiting on his email.
to support our show,
Okay, now you know they want.
we're happy to do ads on the show. Okay, moving forward.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no, go ahead.
So what I was saying is,
about just growing the sport and
I
your
had this
job
conversation with Matthias about like how I cannot understand if anyone in skating, as a person, as a company, as whatever, wants to grow their part of skating by, sorry the expression, but by sticking the finger somewhere in someone. That's not how things work for me. Sorry, I can't. It's just like, for me, the only way to grow skating is by being together. And it's like, I keep saying, I had this conversation with more than one person. Like, I love what John Julio is doing. I love it. It's very, very important for all of us. It gives us hope in aggressive skating. But when I see comments like I saw the other day, someone saying, if you're not supporting them skates, you must be whatever. It makes no sense at all. Like, there is no industry that will ever survive with one company only. We need more than one. People need to have variety.
That's true.
And then we see a lot of people also saying like, yeah, but they don't invest in new molds. And like, let's be realistic about things. To make a new skate from scratch, the whole mold costs at least $100,000.
Yeah.
And like, there's not one size. And like, but they only made 3 sizes. Because it costs money.
Yeah.
Why don't you make size 48, 49, 50? Because there's not enough market for it. And it's up to us to create that market instead of just blaming on the companies. We can do something. Being whatever company, being the company that I work with or being the company I don't work with. It's like, it doesn't matter. I don't care about making anyone fail. I care about the sport succeed. And that's why I'm happy to do what I do. And that's why I want to do and invest my time on something. And that's why I think that kids in skating, it's such an important thing. And a lot of people are not saying it yet.
You're supporting every company too, pretty much. That's what you're saying. Like, you support everybody.
Yeah,
and you could tell that from the videos and stuff you post too, because you'll be writing like Rossi's one week, and then you're writing like Seba's the next.
Yeah, but this is something that it's in my contract. I'm working as it, which might be really weird for some people, because as a marketing manager for a brand, you're supposed to just market that brand.
That brand, yeah.
But it's my YouTube channel. It's my personal project, and I wouldn't be loyal to myself and to anyone.
To your viewers too.
If I wouldn't do it the way that. So in my contract states that my YouTube channel, it's my personal project. Now let's not be stupid here. And the truth is, if I usually skate with the skates of the company that supports me, and allow me to leave from it. It's the truth. So if someone is going to watch my videos, to watch a review or whatever, they're gonna end up watching me skate with the skates that I skate on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Because I'll review Rossi's skates or I'll review whatever. I'll skate with Rossi's skates on aggressive. On aggressive skates, I don't have a connection to any brand. I'll skate whatever I want.
Yeah.
Same with quad skates. So in the end, the company that it's attached to me also ends up benefiting a little bit. I think.
Yeah, definitely. It shows like your loyalty to what you do, and I'm not gonna say like you owe it to your viewers, but like when you ride, you support what you want to support, and
it's about passion,
Yeah,
man. That's all I can tell. It's
like, not to cut you off, but I'm just saying, I think it shows an honesty that someone has to respect. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's exactly what it.
Yeah.
It's what. There's some things that I say in my videos that might seem stupid. A lot of people get mad when I say, "Yeah, hello, my name is Ricardo." Hola. I say hola because I'm Portuguese and that's how I say hello. I'm Ricardo. My name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict because it's the truth. I don't know how to live with it, and
I mean, skating since you were 2.
Yeah,
2.5.
but it's not even about it. I just don't know how to live with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do not know. And like, I think most of you guys are actually the same. Like, you know, if you don't do it for a while, like your girlfriends, your wives or whatever, they start feeling like, just put the skates on.
Can you go? Yeah. Can you go skate? Yeah.
And then like the way that I finish all my videos is the same way. Don't forget why we all started skating. And it's the exact truth. We all started for the same reason. Some of us kind of like lost along the way, lost the roots.
Totally.
And we forget, all of us, including myself.
Totally.
There was times that I actually was into like, I need to make money here, or I need to do this trick, or I need to get the certain result in a certain event. But for me, the most important is actually to enjoy it, because if I stop enjoying it, then I can't be true to myself and do whatever I do. So
that's real.
That's definitely spoken really well too. I think a lot of people need to hear more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Most people in like the limelight, quote unquote, whatever, you know, are the pros that ride for certain companies. And of course, they can be loyal to the companies who pay them and support them and stuff like that. But you could do whatever you want, support whatever you want. That's why, like, I feel like we have no sponsors really or anything like that. We get to ride whatever the hell we want to skate. I skate the skates I skate because that's who I want to support, and that's who I feel should be supported, you know?
There is one thing that is like being this is my opinion about this. Being a professional skater, nowadays it's obviously not the same as it was a few years ago. There's some people out there that they can make it, and I really think I made like one of those talks at Winter Clash last year about it, and I think I made something about 2 years ago too. I keep saying the same. It's totally possible to live from skating. It is totally possible to live from skating, but people forget that we are in 2019, and being a pro in 2019, it's not the same as being a professional skater in 98 or 99. In 98, 99, there was TV, which no one basically watches.
There's still TV now.
Yeah, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. Even TV is investing on like YouTube channels and stuff.
Right.
Anyway, social
no,
media.
you're right.
Social
TV
media.
is way more relevant.
Yeah, TVs now have like an Instagram TV
YouTube.
where they invest a lot on the. You see like big cameras filming like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever imagine like a huge camera filming like this?
Right. No, it's crazy.
Anyway, so the thing is, in '98, being a pro skater was actually, you had like a brand endorsement, and that was it. You basically, like it or not, the product, you had to like, I love it.
Yeah.
It's 2019, man. It's like there's a lot more stuff that you can do, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be loyal to the brand that support you, but you cannot expect the brand that is making 500 pairs of skates that have a team of 5 people. I'm talking about aggressive skates. To pay enough for someone to live in a country like America, living in New York, where if you live in Manhattan, you pay like at least 7,000 or 8,000 to live in a flat. It's impossible. Let's make the math. It's impossible. Probably the brand is not making that amount in 5 months. I'm just being realistic here.
Of course,
Yeah.
But we can actually make it by using the other resources out there.
Mhm.
Like,
You're talking about like your
You
own individual social media marketing type of stuff.
yeah,
Or-
we are all a brand.
exactly.
We are all a brand.
Mhm.
Like you guys are making it amazingly well, and most of the people might not know it, but I need to tell them. Which is like when people are supporting you guys on Patreon, they do not know. They know that they're putting money for something, but they don't know that you guys are actually. Me and Mark are here because you called the Uber for us
Mhm.
to be here, and
Yeah.
you were telling me yesterday, if we need to pick you up at the airport, which was like
Mhm.
$65, no
Mhm.
problem. We'll send the Uber there to
Yeah,
pick you up.
yeah.
Yeah.
People don't know that. They don't
Mhm.
know, like, they do know that you guys are doing something
Mhm.
amazing, but they don't know.
It invests back in some way or another.
Yeah,
They, I
and-
guess whether it's not in front of your
Dude,
face or whatever.
I
Yeah.
look at 3 cameras here,
Mhm.
and I see something that probably with your ad revenue, it's going to take about 3 years to pay.
Oh,
Right.
of course. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you keep on putting back.
Yeah, yeah.
So what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is, like, a lot of times we do it for the wrong reasons. And if we do it for the right reasons, things happen.
Mhm.
And, like, brand endorsements can happen in a different way. Like, if you start growing your brand, like the guy that I just said, it's a completely different style of skating, Bill Stoppard.
Mhm.
Or we have this girl from the UK. She's probably the original YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Asha, and Asha, it's like a woman. She's in about her 40s, 45. She does just regular skating, like, I don't know, like recreational skating. She does classes. She has her own inline skating course online that she charges for you to do it.
Mhm.
One way to make money.
Mhm.
She has so many followers that if she makes her merch, she can make money.
Mhm.
If she does a Patreon, she can make money. She makes money from the ad revenue.
Monetization, yeah.
Then when you start growing up to like when your brand has actually start growing, and if it's surrounded by positivity, then you have other brands that want to go
Mhm.
and, like, I want to help you for this project, I want
Mhm.
to support you for that project, and
Hmm.
that's how things start
It
growing.
grows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if I'm someone that all I do is complaining about something, it will never happen to you.
Nobody wants to support that anyway.
If I have €5 here, there's 2 guys in front of me. There's the guy, like, the positive guy that I know if I give him the €5, he's gonna go somewhere else and do something good with his life. And then the other guy that I give him the €5, he goes straight to the supermarket and he buys shit, he eats
Yeah.
it, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm talking about something that I've done in the past.
Mhm.
When I start, it's the truth. When I started
Uh.
skating for USD, I was getting paid, and my money was, like, going for the most stupid shit.
Mhm.
Like, I would get paid, like, nothing crazy, but my money was never going for traveling, and I used to like, I don't get paid enough.
Mhm.
No, I didn't make the smart thing to do with my small amount, because if
Mhm.
I would invest that small amount in something right,
Mhm.
but that's a 38 years old me speaking. Not,
Yeah.
Mhm. That's a lot of people out there, especially skaters, have big followers, like 20, 30,000 followers. These people, you got to leverage that to, like you said, either you can make online courses. There's multiple streams of revenue that you can make these days, rather than just getting paid directly from a skate sponsor.
Yeah, like the thing you had at Winter Clash where you were teaching the
Yeah,
class of
I can
how
give you
to.
an example. Like, if I make a video,
Mhm.
imagine I have a video with like 300,000 views, whatever. I don't even know. That video is not even the video that gives me the most amount of money, but I have a video that gives me like about maybe like €15 per month, every month. It's nothing.
Mhm.
But I have 600 videos uploaded. I don't have that amount. Like, people don't confuse. I wish every
Yeah.
600 video would give me 15
Oh yeah, yeah.
euros.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, whatever I make from ad revenue, it's not even enough
Mhm.
for the gear that I
Mhm.
have and for the traveling that I
Right,
do.
of course,
whatever. It
yeah,
goes
yeah.
straight into
It's such a
but-
small.
But
drop
what
in
I'm
the
trying
bucket.
to say is, like, it's an investment in my time. I take like about 2 hours of my day. I'm also getting better at something, which is editing. I'm getting my own. Yeah, I'm not editing to Hollywood, but I got my own ways of editing something fast. If I need to do jobs, like, I can.
Mhm.
Mhm.
If something ever goes wrong with what I'm doing, I find ways to leave, while still making a little bit of money from the ad revenue, because
Yeah.
the 600 videos are still there,
Mhm.
and probably it's
It,
gonna be
it allows mobility. It allows you to do things, even though it's.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but it's something. It's
Yeah.
like it's getting, and then I'm learning about something, and I'm becoming more and more valuable to myself too.
And you gotta start. That's how you build things. You gotta start from that beginning stage, like let it grow.
Yeah, it's like it happens a lot of times. Like, that's what I wanted to go with this conversation. Now, I've seen a lot of people starting like YouTube channels and stuff, and I'm sorry that I'm going back to YouTube, but this can be with everything. Like even the video from Organ Ending that a lot of views on Facebook. That thing was was
the millions, whatever.
Yeah, was uploaded by someone that I have no idea who that was. But if that was uploaded by Organ, probably, and if it had the right music, probably they would be making money because you can monetize stuff on Facebook now too. Now, you need to invest. Whatever you do, you need to invest to actually get some return. As an example, I started having a lot of problems with the music that I would use on my videos because every now and then I didn't have the copyrights, and because I didn't have the copyrights, I couldn't monetize my videos. So I invested. I pay like a fee monthly to get like these websites that I will never get problems with that again. And then in the end, if you look at it, I make like if I have 2 videos, probably I'll make $2 a month. It's like yeah, but I'm having all this work for $2. You need to think ahead of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about those $2. It's about like you not everyone wants to put themselves out there, and I fully respect that. Like it really depends on the reasons why you're doing it. Guys, like now I'm going to be going against all that I've been saying that might be weird for a lot of people. Like I would never expect a guy like Alex Brosco to just make a YouTube channel. It's obviously not this type of guy. But then there's a lot of people that could actually do something with it.
Totally.
But then they wait for the other 300 or 400 people to succeed for them to now I can start.
Yeah,
but then it's too late.
Yeah, totally.
The best time to start
is in the beginning.
It's now.
Right now,
or yesterday.
If you didn't yet, but you can't start yesterday. If you didn't, but you can start now.
Yeah, totally.
If it's bad, it's bad. You're gonna get better. If it's bad now, even better, because the next one is gonna be better. So you see progression.
Jump in head first, yeah.
and the more of us out there, the more exposure it gets to our sport.
It is,
which is like a plus.
Totally.
Which is why we're on not just a podcast on iTunes. It's like Spotify, YouTube, also just to widen the audience, hit all the platforms.
Try to keep it across all the platforms.
That is something that you guys are doing amazingly good. I really appreciate it. Because like the way that you guys are, you're spending the time to learn how everything works, and then you do it the proper way.
There's a science to everything, and it always changes. You always have to adapt to it.
But this just makes what you guys are doing, and being fully honest with you guys, I had this little thing going on that I made, like the skate talks. The reason why I'm not doing podcasts at the moment is just it does not make sense for me to do like a phone call to someone when there is someone doing it so good as you guys.
You should still do it though.
But I'm not saying not to. But it makes no sense the way that I was doing it because I wasn't happy with what I was doing. So I prefer.
Oh, if you're not happy with it, that's something different.
I'll prefer to do the way that I'm doing right now. If I have people coming to my own, I wouldn't say it's something like this, but it's like I have my own studio. If someone goes there, we'll do something.
Yeah, you've done stuff like that too. It was really good.
It's a lot better. Or because of my job right now, I end up visiting a lot of shops. So I started this thing. Kind of like the same thing, but it's like I go to shops and I do shop visits. My goal with the shop visits...
I like that too. You were talking about that before.
Yeah, my goal with the shop visits is to show more people there are businesses on skating. There are people that have some of them really small, some of them not that small. And they talk about the struggles. They talk about like the best thing that happened to them, the worst thing that happened to them. It's good for people to see how skate shops operate. It gives them a little bit... more like it optimizes their brand a little bit too, because if the video gets a little bit of views, if someone Googles it, they're gonna know a little bit more about them. So it's like a little bit of a way to also help the shops that have been trying to do something for skating.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously,
that's a side of skating I think a lot of people don't know about, because there's so few shops in the industry that to hear that side of it, like the struggles and everything, and how important it is to the industry. A lot of people don't know that stuff.
But a lot of people don't understand how important they are in a way that you don't always need to go 100% on a shop. You can start a shop in a way that you can have a few products and man,
that's how most of them got started.
Yeah, like
at least in our
start
business.
full blown out.
Most of the guys that have good businesses right now in skating,
start small.
Matthias from Powerslide,
he started with wheels in the car.
Started selling racing wheels on the back of the car, and it's like almost like how did Shop Task started. Shop Task started by Leon selling skates on the back of the car.
Yeah.
The shop that I visited yesterday in Canada, Pro Skaters Place, they started as an online shop only, and then they realized that it would make sense to go from online to to open.
In person.
It's just about taking that first step.
Yeah, but you start seeing the numbers, and if the investment is not huge, you can adjust it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I agree. I think if you want to do something, just like take it and start trying
It's the
it,
best thing you could do.
and then build it up. You know.
for me, it's so
And-
weird that there's no skate shop in New York. I know that.
Yeah,
it's-
I mean it makes sense
it's-
because
it's
New
expensive.
York's really like expensive to like, do
Yes.
things. So like the rent's so high, the overhead's so high, and a lot of things are going online right now.
The rent's
So I
too
think
damn high.
it's hard to have like a storefront and things like that.
but,
but-
maybe not a storefront.
But still, like even if you want to do it online, like I agree totally. Like yeah, but logistically, it's it should be. Hopefully, one day it does get back to that. And that'd be awesome.
Mhm.
I think we should start opening up for questions
Yeah.
Let me
sometime soon because we can go on for
Yeah, I know.
hours.
Yeah.
I
feel.
just need to interrupt
Yeah.
to tell you one thing,
Okay.
Do it.
which is very important. A lot of people probably never heard about that, and some of them might have seen something which is done
Mhm.
in China. You guys might have seen sometimes posts from like either Micro, either Flying Eagle, either whatever. You see like these things with colored floors and a lot of kids handling ends in a really short space that people don't know what that is. So these things are called the skate clubs. We were talking about it
Mhm.
before, and this is like a completely different concept to what all of us are used in the West. Of course, it would be really expensive to do it in Europe or here because
Mhm.
like a place in
The
a shopping
space,
mall
yeah.
would be very expensive. But
Right.
there's different ways to go around it,
Mhm.
and I'll tell you what I've seen also in China. But
Mhm.
in China, what happens a lot is like in shopping malls, they have like really small shops that have like these floors that have like different ways, little obstacles, and then parents go to the shopping mall and it's like a kids place. They leave their kids there. There's a skate instructor. The kids put their skates, and if they want to, they can rent skates. If they want to buy the skates, there's like some skates. Usually it's connected to a brand, and that exists in various shopping malls.
That's amazing to hear that. That's
It's like they need,
completely unheard of in this side of the world.
so it's paid. People need to pay to leave their kids there. People need to pay to rent the skates. People
Mhm.
need to pay to buy skates. So in the end, they get like
Mhm.
a few different ways of making some income. And at the same time, in some shopping malls that this doesn't happen, what they do is like on shopping malls, outside a shopping mall, which the surface is usually good, right in front or in a
Mhm.
parking lot,
Mhm.
on a Saturday morning, some brand comes in with like some, I don't know how you call these things, just to like create a space.
Uh-huh.
Some
Like cones or something like that,
whatever,
yeah.
metal fence,
Okay.
whatever, some portable fence.
Mhm.
They create a little rink.
Mhm.
They put all the skates there, and people start coming. And it's
Yeah.
like,
And
I
you just
met-
drive by and see that too, so you stop by for that
it's a
reason.
shopping mall. It's very,
Mhm.
very important. That's
Mhm.
one of the most important, one of the biggest flaws that I see in skating nowadays. It's the location of
Oh
the
yeah.
skate parks or the location.
They're all
where people
hidden.
skate.
That's the cheaper places. That's why no one can afford
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. But like as an example, I live in
Yeah.
a really small town. Like I
Uh-huh.
told you, where skating has quite a big background, and like there's like quite a few schools like for hockey or figure
Mhm.
skating, whatever, and people don't know that exists. So
Mhm.
what do I do every Wednesday when I leave? Right by the beach, there's like a really cool pad, like an amazing piece, like that. If someone wants to skate there, they can. Like
Mhm.
it's perfect. So I start just every single Wednesday. I go there and I started skating. I created like a group on Facebook. Some people start showing up.
Mhm.
1 week I have 5, the next week I have 2, the next week I have 10, the next week I have none.
Right.
But whoever drives by, they see someone skating and they
Mhm.
start associating that.
That's the
place
easiest
with-
way to see it. If you're just driving by and you see it, you don't even have to like force it on them. They just naturally see it.
Have you ever been in Paris Bercy?
Mhm.
Mhm.
How many? There was always skaters there.
Mhm.
Remember the Embarcadero
Yeah.
in San Francisco? There was always skaters there. These type of spots, I don't know. Do we have
Same
anything
thing with like Avenue D.
Yeah, stuff like
Brooklyn.
yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
still have anything like
There's
that?
like- there's a
now?
couple,
Banks
yeah.
used to be like that.
Yeah, Brooklyn Banks.
Because since the
There's a
phones
few.
exist, like, oh, today we're gonna go here, today we're gonna go
Right.
there. But
Mhm.
before the phones,
It was more of a community, I think, especially in certain places.
Mhm.
Like I think, okay, like European cities and New York and like I think Northeast cities had like a lot of big groups of people skating. Like it was a huge community. I think like places like California are more fragmented, where people like
Right.
skate in like smaller crews in cars, like
Mhm.
1 or 2 cars of
Mhm.
people. But I think European style because of like the public transportation and
Yeah.
like, you have to meet in like main areas like Bercy
Yeah.
or something, or
Mhm.
New York we had the banks and things like that.
but the cool thing about it was that whoever would drove by would see people skating in that place.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to start
Right.
skating, they would know where to go.
Yeah, no, that's how like Alex Nunez got into skating by like seeing
Yeah,
people
John
skating
Bound.
at John Bound,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think a lot of people too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes with just building skating back up. And, I think Thursday night skates do that. Tuesday night skates,
Yeah.
like those
Yeah.
things, like, people start being able to see it. Like, they have First Fridays in Oakland. That, like,
That's on
B3's
like a main street too,
been,
I
like,
guess, right?
Yeah, it's like one of the main. I think it's on. I can't think of the name right now, but it's on one of the main streets in Oakland, and B3 is a big part of that. So I think those things happen.
That's
like
amazing.
it's in summer. Like,
They need to happen more often though. Definitely, if it's in like a mall like that. When I was in Helsinki, they had a skateboard contest at the mall too, and all they did was put a car. And they put 2 ramps on it, and they had huge crowds of people. And then you go in the mall, and they're playing a game of skate in like the center court of the mall, and everybody's in all the levels watching them like do kickflips and stuff. And it's nothing crazy at all. But look how many people on like a Saturday afternoon go through the mall and see all that.
Yo,
It's so
Helsinki,
simple.
if you're hiring blade coaches, just call me. I'll come
Me too.
over there.
Me too. I'd like to go back.
I'll be the best blade coach there ever was, man. I'll tell you.
Let's open up for questions though.
For sure.
People are asking for your spiel.
Oh, are they asking
People
for
are
it?
asking for it.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna open up for questions, but first,
Yeah, but first we got to do the spiel. So, like Ricardo just highlighted, it's important that we build our YouTube channel. So go subscribe it, hit the notification bell, and right when we post it, watch it as quick as you possibly can, because that means they're going to boost our video and you can put it in the suggested videos. So do all that, comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Go on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, give us a review. Go on Instagram, follow us. Go on Facebook, give us a like. Go on Ricardo's page. Ricardo, where
shout out your
if
your
the Jump Street guests want to follow you on your YouTube page, where can they go?
It's just Ricardo Lino.
That's it.
There you go.
YouTube.com.
That's easy.
If you can't spell, you're in trouble.
That's what we're talking about, the simplicity.
Well, I can't spell it.
Yeah, no. I know you can.
No, but you know what was the funniest part? Like, the first time I ever came to America, my last name is not Lino.
No.
It's Hermenegildo. So
Somebody asked
we
in the
were-
beginning what your real name was.
Ricardo Lino de Souza Hermenegildo. The first day I
Oh
skated.
my God.
The first
I'm not
day
gonna try to spell that one.
Yeah. No.
the first day I skated SDSU,
Okay.
I was with Dustin Ellerin, and we were skating those really long ledges.
Okay.
And the police came, and they're like, everyone get down, now spell your last name. I was like,
You were like,
I started sweating, because like my English, if some people complain about it now, just don't imagine like I was there like 18 years ago. I like H-E-E. Okay, next one.
they were like, just whatever, get out of here. Too much work.
We're gonna start. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of gear type questions for you because of your audience. Anuj asks, "What is your favorite aggressive skates of all time?
Favorite?
All time aggressive skates,
It's hard. It's really hard.
Probably the Billy O'Neill USDs, right?
but the black ones or the white ones though."
You know what? I think one of my favorite skates is actually the USDA, just because how versatile it can be. And
In what way?
how revolutionary it was. Mainly because like it's a flat skate, but you don't feel like you're skating a flat skate. And it was completely thinking out of the box. It was going against what everyone else was doing, but I'm not skating it now. Because
Still, they better pay you a few extra bucks for that promo.
Nah,
No?
not really. Yeah, I just don't.
I'm just joking.
I know, but I just don't want to.
Okay.
The thing is, I like the skate. I feel it like it's slow for some things,
Right.
and the type of skating that I'm trying to do more and more. It's like I like it. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna skate it again because I really like it,
Yeah.
but I really like the M12 because it's a slim skate. And
Is that what you're currently riding now?
I've been skating the M12 a lot. I just got here today, like the new Rams.
You
I'm
got a
gonna
new one?
skate.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try. I like trying different skates. The thing is, I'm not trying to compete. I'm not trying to get better or anything. I'm trying to do it. I love to test things and be able to compare and tell people my experience. And because I'm actually lucky to be able to compare stuff and to share it with other people. So I try to do that. It's hard for me to say one.
I like Mike Torres once said.
Mike Torres once said.
He's like, it's stupid
The
to
prophet.
not try different skates. Like, if you're gonna skate, like, why wouldn't you just explore them all and see which one fits you, or some could be different for certain things. Like, why not? You know?
And even what fits you, you know that your skating is not gonna be the same forever.
Exactly.
You know, like whatever you like to do now, you probably won't like to do it. It's not that you won't like to do it. You slowly like shift to some
It'll
other.
change. Yeah.
So you adapt, and I like the adapt skates.
Yeah. And I want to try them. No one has them, so I can't like try them. And it's
You
hard.
gotta
It's hard.
buy
It's
them.
hard. It's hard to drop
You gotta
$500 on a pair of skates that
That
I
you
never
haven't
tried
tried
before.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's risky.
I was lucky to visit Peter and try the skates.
Yeah.
Dude.
Weren't you skiing them around in Winter Clash? Or you were skating the other
No,
one?
that was the G boot.
Yeah.
The G boot is actually. So what's the G boot? The G boot is a cool thing. That was the first time that I realized what a skin actually does to a skate. A G boot is basically a USD7 skate, and they made a skin made out of real leather that you can put on that same skate.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to really like the Gryken, and I know a lot of people ate it, but I didn't like the look of it, but I loved how soft it was. And the USD7, it's actually an upgrade to that, so it's actually a much better skate than the Gryken.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a cool skate, but it's a little bit noisy sometimes.
The sevens, you mean?
I
Just in
hate a
general?
noisy skate.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But it's not bad. It's not noisy. But if you put those G boot skins,
Yeah.
when you land, it sounds like,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
no, it makes you feel
So you think the
solid.
skins do that? Because they
Yeah,
go
of course.
because it stops the clacking
Hold it.
from plastic on plastic.
Completely. You see that on
They should give it a.
on Velos.
Yeah, my Valos were like completely poof solid
But if you
all the time.
try the exact same skate,
Take everything off.
and you'll see. Go poof.
They should make a vegan option though, since it's leather. You know,
Yeah, they actually made like a buffalo skin.
just in case. Buffalo. Holy shit.
Oh damn!
I got some buffalo skin skates, which is like a
What?
brown. Yeah.
That's pretty
I
badass.
feel like
might get
Bailey. I
some.
feel like Bailey would rock that, or like
all my Texas bladers and stuff like that. Looking to rock some cowboy boots.
Send it to Cameron.
Yeah.
Like a bear skin.
Zick Step asks, "What is your take on Solomon skates?" I don't know if he's asking in the current state of what they are, or
Is there a current state?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, like people riding them, I guess maybe.
No,
I
but
don't know, just in general.
if you don't know, like basically, I made a video about 2 years ago that
oh, you did, yeah.
a lot of
Okay.
people gave me a lot of shit about it,
Now it makes sense.
and I'll be clear with that. It's just like I really think it's one of the best skates ever made.
Mhm.
It's an amazing skate. It's not for my style of skating, especially without any sole plate. I can't really torque with it
Right,
because of
yeah.
the way it is, but
Mm.
that's me and the way that I torque and whatever.
Mhm.
And it feels like a little bit harder to backslide royales or whatever. But if you use other up-to-date sole plates, they're amazing. They're very comfortable. It was way ahead of anything else back then, and,
Oh man,
and
for
probably
sure.
probably still ahead of what we got now.
They put a lot of
They
care
had-
into it. Yeah.
They had the money to
Make it
make
really wow.
research
Yeah.
that they needed. Amazing as a skate. Now the video that I made, and a lot of people didn't really understood what I wanted to, what I really meant with that video. That I said, like, you're killing the industry. It's
Mhm.
not about you buying Salomons. The skates are amazing, but there are brands out there that are investing into making new stuff.
Mhm.
Like if John is making all this investment in time and obviously in all his money, like you heard in a lot of the podcasts, like, or even like Rose is now to bring back the fifth element that people complain about the sole plate. Again, just think about a little bit ahead, like the investment that you need, but USD with the USD, and this is a lot of money to make all these skates.
Mhm.
And in general, we tend to say, when the skate comes out, it's amazing, but I'm not gonna get it. And we go back to buy something that it's actually not going to any of these brands. And yes, some people said something which make a lot of sense, which is, yeah, but sometimes it's going to the skaters' pockets and they're gonna end up buying new skates and all that. I get it. But at the same time, the brands
They're
that
not
are-
gonna buy new skates. They're gonna spend that
You
on
could firsthand
on
just
food.
give the money to the.
what I
beer.
mean by this, it's the brands investing.
No, it's
They
keeping your
need-
industry alive.
They need our support.
That's
And
a huge. Yeah, that's a huge point. Yeah.
And a lot of people is like, yeah, but you get a lot of skates for free. You're saying that, all that, but you get your skates for free. Dude, I put more money into skating than anyone I know. All my money, like, yes, I'm traveling. I'm doing something which is a lot of people would love to be doing, but I'm doing it because I'm
for
trying
skating.
to. I'm doing it to, like, a lot of people won't be able to make it to the
Blading
Blading
Cup?
Cup. I'll try to make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I make like 100 euros if someone makes a donation.
Mhm.
That's not able to cover anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
like,
also
that's a HDMI cable that I need to use.
yeah, exactly. But also forget money, like time,
Yeah, but
which is more valuable than
but that's-
money.
I'm
You're
talking about-
investing all that time for however many since 2.5.
Yeah.
But I'm getting
Right?
a lot of shit a lot of time because of money. I feel that a lot of time, and that's why I'm breaking it to that.
Yeah, tell them to suck an egg. That's what I did.
Tell him to go suck a lemon.
Go suck an egg.
That was a good answer. I forgot you made that video.
Yeah,
So that
that's a
makes
really good
perfect
point
sense.
too, man. That's a really good point.
Quick shout out to Chad Hornish, donated $4.99.
Ooh,
What
thanks,
up?
Chad.
What up, Chad Hornish?
He's killing it, man.
Yo,
He is.
oh, he's been killing
Did you
it
saw that
recently.
backside?
Yeah, in
I know,
Texas.
yeah, Texas one.
Also, he's been on the move.
Yeah,
He was in,
maybe that's
he
probably
was
his
in
roasties thing because they give him like a travel budget
He
or
was in
whatever.
PA, and he was in Texas,
Woodward.
grinding some awning, and then
Mhm.
I'm sure he'll be at the Blade Cup.
It probably will be at the Bleeding Cup.
Mhm.
Also, Samoa Huck, 40 Canadian dollars.
Oh, nice.
Great words, Ricardo. Thank you, Jump Street, for this episode. 40 Canadian. That's like 25 American cents.
I don't
I'm
have-
kidding.
don't
I'm
know.
kidding.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
your
very
donation.
much.
We appreciate it.
that. Going straight to the Ubers and pizza.
Lil Joker 247 says, hi from the UK. What has been your favorite product you helped develop?
Mm.
Have you helped develop a lot of products?
Yeah, a couple.
What?
There's one of them that was the roller skate that Powerslide made called the Kaya Karma, which is
With the plastic blocks in between.
Yeah, but it's
I've been wanting to try those
it's
so
the
bad.
different one. It's the only. It was a bit ahead of all the other skates because when the skates were just coming out with a regular block to grind, which is just like a piece of plastic, just like
Mhm.
this. That one has like 2 points of contact. If you want to do a royale, there's like kind of like a backslide plate
Mm-hmm.
built in the block, but it's not a beginner's thing. So if you put your feet like straight and you're trying, it tends to bend your foot like a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to you need to go on the edges, but if you learn how to go on the edges, it's like amazing. And actually, some of the I guess like the best roller skaters right now are using it, which is really
Damn.
cool to see right now. I'm not working with the brand anymore, but I really love to see people skating it. And then there's other skate, which another frame that I'm not the main guy, but I actually gave some feedback, which is the Trimax frame, the UFS plastic tri skate frame from Kaiser. The one
Okay.
that had
Oh, yeah,
rockable-
yeah.
I helped with like it's not me, but it's I was one of the guys helping with.
Mm-hmm.
There was 2 products that actually, when I see people skating it, I feel like a little.
You're like, oh, yeah, that's a little bit of
cool.
me.
Yeah.
You could have used those roller skate grind block things back in the day when you were learning
No.
royales and unities.
I can tell you about something that it's a concept that I'm doing now. The skate should be out very soon. So basically with Micro we have a skate called the Micro Future. It's a skate it's a hard boot skate for 3-year-old kids and up. It starts on size European 23, which is like a keychain.
Okay.
It's what it is. And then we created a system. It's going to be called progressive wheel blocking system, and it's just a little knob in the back, and when you tight that knob, that will block completely the back wheel, meaning that the back wheels don't roll. So the kids, when they're first starting at 3 years old, you tell the kids to walk on a carpet, to walk on the grass and all that, but by spinning that knob, you're blocking the skate completely. So they just need to learn how to stabilize their feet in this position so that they don't do this. First they just need to stabilize, and then you can slowly take the pressure from that knob, and it's slowly going to give
They
them a
roll a
little
little
bit
bit.
more roll.
See, I didn't know
So-
any of that stuff. I
Yeah,
didn't know
that-
how to
that
teach
was-
kids to skate in grass and
But
carpet. I
that
didn't
was
know.
something that I'm really, I came out with the idea, and the skate is about to come out really soon. So if someone actually
That
does
sounds
something
like
at
a-
least I
cool
said
idea.
it publicly so that people know that where it came from.
Yeah.
That's like that's something to be
Wow.
proud of because that'll help
That's incredible, man.
increase numbers and get more fresh people into it. Into skating.
That's a sick idea.
Yeah, it's coming out.
That's what
soon.
Aaron Holland
job,
just said.
my
Is
boy.
Micro going to bring out an aggressive skate?
Not yet. Basically, I'm supposed to have a line of skates, which supposed to be 2 skates, and I would love to have a UFS skate. But the reason why I want to have a UFS skate is I want a UFS skate that people can put multiple sole plates, but we're not. Our main focus at the moment is not really adult skates. We will have
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
at least 2 skates under this line of mine, but we're still a little bit out of it. Like our main focus with Micro, it's actually our
Kids.
focus should be 70 to 80% on kids,
That's good.
because that's what the brand is known on scooters, and that's what we want to go on the train. And it's not go like shit ourselves around. Is the truth is like we want the brand to be known as a kid skate, because if you look around, if I ask anyone, I go to 5 different skate shops and I ask them what's the best kids inline skate, and I'll have 2-3 different answers. I don't want to have three different answers. I want to have one. Everyone knows that a kid wants a soft, like kids want light skates. They want a stable skate. and they want a skate that needs to be size adjustable because their feet is constantly
they're growing.
changing. So we have quite a big range of it, and I'm proud of it. But now we just need to make it grow. That's it.
That's good. That's
awesome.
That's important because that's something that our industry was liking too.
Yeah, there's enough
more
skates
kids
for
skates.
adults.
Yeah.
The adults have enough to choose from right now. Let's get at the kids.
I'm going to end it with one more question. We have Drifter Tech esque. What is your favorite skating memory?
My favorite skating memory of all
That's
time.
a deep question.
It is.
Other than being on this podcast with us right now, obviously. Clearly.
It's let me tell you, being here right now, it's been a long time since I've been nervous. I've been doing. I just posted something on my Instagram. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
truth.
like your first rail, your first kiss, being on Jump Street. Yeah.
You know what?
all the big moments in
Dude,
life.
I've been like in front of like a lot of people with like either like with school stuff or with like even non-skate related. With skate relating stuff, like sometimes with Winter Clash or whatever. Like,
Yeah, you
or
speak in
even
front of
present
crowds,
it.
right? Yeah.
But this thing is different.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like
Is it the third camera?
I
If
don't-
there was two, you'd be fine.
No, it's
I
not
thought
about-
you'd be chill. You just do this all the time
No,
on your
I'm
own
actually
thing.
chilled right now, but I
Yeah.
think it's because the type of people watching this, it's actually the core skaters. You know, like the people that really
Yeah.
know about skating.
Yeah.
And so
Like
I
Mike
know-
Torres is he's a serious core blader.
no, but sometimes I'm talking about
the death.
skating, and I know a lot of people watching it. They're learning. Like if I say if you need to turn, you need to put this foot in front. I know people are learning with that, but I'm talking like with people now that
I get
they're
it.
years ahead of knowing how to turn. They want to know like
Speaking to a different audience.
Yeah, so
Get it, yeah.
that's what gets me a little bit more nervous. So
Well,
it's
you-
all good. But now, what was the question?
Yeah.
Favorite
You're doing great.
favorite
Your
skate
skate memory.
Favorite skate memory. It's hard, man. Yeah, it's gotta be winning the. I'm not into skate events right now. That is hard, man. I got I got two. One of them, yeah, probably one of them was winning the X battle in Madrid, and it's just because like.
Just completely crushing
Like the-
Frito. And
I was thinking you were gonna say that.
I didn't crush them. I don't think they would be a lot better than that.
Right
but
now,
it's like
Frito's like, I will get you one day.
I will have my revenge.
Frito-Lay Elbow is still up to date. One of my favorites to watch.
He's still skating, right? I feel
He's
like I see clips.
amazing. He's
when-
still skating.
recently.
Is amazing.
Mhm.
I know that Ollie every now and then he puts his skates on.
Mhm.
I'm not really in contact with Ollie, but the thing is like. That day for me was very special because it was like one of the first times that the Portuguese guys came all like in a van
Mhm.
to Madrid. And we were like a crew.
Just some
you know?
Portuguese guy came through and held it down.
Yeah, it's like we were a crew. Like, and I remember after that, it's like, man, I don't drink nowadays, but I remember like we went after that event, after the competition, there was a party and like we started drinking and all that. I remember we all passed out in the van, and I woke up in the morning. With
Naked.
with 2 rolls of like I got like 400 or 500 euros that I
Oh.
made, and I had like 2 rolls of money. Like people
Damn.
could have steal the money from me. I didn't care. You know, like I was just like I
Oh.
had money on my pockets.
Yeah.
Like it's not even that much, but probably because it was from everyone's payment to compete.
Right.
It was like,
all
a lot of
fives
money.
and tens,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was one of the moments, and then the second one gotta be in Angola, and it would be in Angola because it's a special place for me. If it wasn't Angola, I would never meet my wife and all that. And I was already in a relationship with my wife, but not really as serious. But I remember I went to Angola for a few times, and they used to speak about this hill called the Serra da Leba, just a hill, just like a really windy one. But I didn't even do it proper. I wasn't even a downhill skater. Nowadays, I don't consider myself a downhill skater. I love to do downhill. But that one day, I didn't know if it was possible. And I showed up there with this company. They wanted to do something for their own marketing, whatever. And it was like they showed up there with like cameras and like drones and all that stuff. And they reported the whole thing. And it was cool for me because I didn't even know if it was possible. It felt good to do something. It ended up being really easy. But it felt good because I somehow did something for skating in that country. Because with that same video, they had like a PR company working on it, which we don't have anyone in skating, and we could. Like some people could have a PR.
You're talking about in general, like PR for skaters.
Some PR
Mhm.
taking care of like a skater's whatever. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if it would work or not, but like they had like a PR company taking care of that. Like, so it was on all the channels. I went to all the radios for going down on something, which is not even that hard.
Yeah.
But they made a big thing about it. So somehow they did a big thing for skating in the whole country. So for me, that was like a very, very special moment.
That's
too.
pretty cool.
I guess that's it.
That's cool. I like that. That's a different kind of answer.
That's
than the other
awesome.
one. That's great.
Well, Ricardo, dang. After doing this one, I feel like we have to have you on again in the future because you have just so much we can go through.
Thank you.
But
I'm glad because like being another social media person, like YouTuber, it's great to have you on and kind of like collab, like cross.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat were hyped to see you on.
pick your
too.
brain as well.
Thank you. I told you a few times, and I tell you, and I tell everyone watching this: if someone really has a project, if they need any help, I'm willing to help as much as I can. Obviously, I have time that in my day, which is really important for me to do my work. I try to somehow organize my day to be able to do my videos, but my main priority in my life really is my family.
Mm-hmm.
Until now, it's all good, but I know it's going to get a little bit more hectic. But I really want to support and help as much people as I can. If they have doubts, if I know a lot of people is like amazing, they do really, really good content, and a lot of them don't know how to put it out there.
Yeah, so you're willing to help them, which is good. You had a lot of valuable information on this podcast too, so I'm sure there's way more about that we weren't able to get into.
And I can attest to that with you. Like, if you want to reach out, like I'm sure you'll answer the message. Like that's the kind of person you are. I've always known you to be.
I know that sometimes I don't, and I realize it after a few weeks or whatever.
But you'll get eventually.
Yeah. Because sometimes I go and I see like especially on Instagram when it goes to those filtered messages, and I end up seeing them later.
Yeah.
And if I didn't answer someone, sorry about it.
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you. Austin's just readjusting the cameras right now, but I know he's thankful as well. And dude, it's really great to have you come on. I know you flew a long way to just be on this podcast, and I know you put everything to the side just so you can come here and be a part of this.
Thank you very, very much.
And I'm looking forward to seeing your live stream at the Blade Cup. And again, people who want to like watch your channel, just go to YouTube, Ricardo Lino. And yeah, thanks very much. Austin, do you want to say?
Just make sure you follow Ricardo and subscribe to him on YouTube, Ricardo Lino. Follow him on Instagram as well. Anywhere else, or is that it?
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say?
I have one last
parting
thing.
words.
Yeah, I have one last thing, which is if someone is going to be at the Blading Cup, and if they are willing to help me, I'm gonna need help with something, which is I think I have 2 people that I need like as commentators, like for the live stream, but I might need someone to operate the camera.
Okay.
It's a pretty easy.
So we got
if we have someone watching this that is going to be there, it's willing to help, that would be amazing.
There we go. Hit him up.
It's very, very important. Then
I'm sure it won't be hard to find people to help you out.
That would be awesome. And other than that, I really want to say thank you to you guys. Like it's amazing to be here. Like I told you before a few times, you're one of my favorite skaters of all time. Like thank you so much. Like I really love what you do and the 2 of you guys do. And I want to say thank you to my family because if it wasn't my family, I wouldn't be able to be here. If it wasn't my wife, like just taking care of my daughter, and for me to be able to be here, like my father and my mom and my sister that always supported me in everything that I did. And then other than that, like really important to say thank you to Micro because they allow me to have the lifestyle that I do, and to Add on Skate. If it wasn't Add on Skate, I wasn't here too. So
shout out Medic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, man.
Ricardo, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Cue the music.
It was great. We'll see you in LA. Everyone, thank you for watching. Peace.